What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Gudo here from 2 to Base. Today we're going to talk about week 2, I guess it is, of the competitive season 1 in Star Wars Unlimited. There are 15 different events that happened between the 9th and the 10th. I believe August 9th had, say, like 13 different events, and then that, I think the 10th, yeah, the 9th was Saturday. The 10th had like 2 tournaments. So Sunday had 2 tournaments this past weekend. One on Saturday, of which I went to. That was the PQ in Orlando. Well, I guess it's technically not Orlando, but over at the Collective in Maitland. The event was good. I love the venue there. You know, having 2 bathrooms is great. The venue did amazing with the prizing and the raffles in between the rounds. They ordered pizza that was practically free if you didn't want to donate $1. Most people did. But, you know, if you didn't have $1, they still offered you a slice of pizza, which was amazing. We love to see that. You know, they don't have to do that. That's just something that they did out of the kindness of their hearts. So shout out to the Collective for being amazing PQ hosts starting out season 1. So I'll do, I guess I could do a quick recap of the PQ. Before we get into the rest of the video though, thanks for all the new subs. Guys, much love to y'all. If you love the content, you like what you see, you enjoy hearing me talk for 20-30 minutes, hit the subscribe button. It really helps grow the channel. And shout out to the Haven Games for sponsoring the video. But yeah, so PQ in Orlando, that was on Saturday. Reflex ended up taking it, so our buddy Andrew over here in Orlando. Our area is just stacked with really good talent. A lot of Bothan Network players are staged here. A few to name: George the Hulk, Andrew Cox, of course, Michael Carlock, you know, Maddie, who did very well in this event as well. I believe he got 4th. Shout out to Maddie. But yeah, there's too many to name, really. The whole BN team. Shout out to all the local BN players that are just homies. Crispy, of course. I believe he was also top 4 or top 8 at least. Yeah, and I think they were all on Kyle Tarkentown, so that deck's still doing very good. But yeah, so my run, I was practicing with KAZ in yellow, and then I had a buddy who, shout out to Will, local homie Will, for lending me his Force Lightnings to run Towels in red. I'm thinking I'm going into this PQ playing either Towels in yellow or Towels in red, and then I made a complete curveball to my rogue deck. That is a spinoff of a KAZ blue deck, so I was running KAZ Security Complex. First 3 rounds were pretty good. I had a really close matchup against Quinlan Tarkentown player, our buddy Ryan. And he got that round. That was round 1. Then round 2, I went into, I believe, Towels in red, and I took that convincingly into best of 3, but I took it 2-0. That was pretty good, and I believe, and then I beat a SABINE ECL. And then after that, I get matched against Boba Data Vault, which could be a toss-up for KAZ. It's better for KAZ red because that deck can go much faster, as where blue still fast, but is relying on a couple of tricks in between instead of just straight going face. There's some build up to getting to that point with Security Complex because you're having to focus on shielding, and you're sort of honing in on avoiding the Force throws and the Force Lightnings with shields. So there's a little more action economy required there, as where red is like able to push more reach damage too with 4 KAZ, Daring Raid, and stuff like that. And then you have Tarkentown to slow them down. KAZ red definitely the better of the builds, and there was a KAZ red that won an event. We'll talk about that PQ. But yeah, I got lucky, and I don't know how many Boba Data Vaults were in the field that day. Only like 3 to 5, I think, and I drew 2 of them and back to back, and it both matches were to best of 3. Yeah, just I couldn't nail it in. I think post board, a lot of them had disabling Fang Fighter, so that kind of shut down a little bit of the deck more than I wanted it to. And then, of course, once they get the 6 resources and get a nice overwhelming barrage off, then there's not much I can do. So overall, had a great time at the event. Great PQ, and again, we're trying to push through the competitive part of this, and with kids and schedules being a little crazy, we're trying to get as much practice in as we can, but we still have a lot of work to do. So another PQ at the end of the month at Coliseum of Comics down in Kissimmee. So hopefully we're able to go out there and represent 2 to base and try to place higher this time. It's the grind doesn't stop. So let's go into the next part of the video. So we'll run through, there's 15 different events. I'm not going to go list by list. I am going to call out just broad discussion about what placements of each deck had in the events. I don't think we're not going to go list by list, but if we do see a hot list, maybe we'll pull it up and we'll take a look at it. So let's see here. So we had a Wilmington, was that Delaware? So that was 63 players. A lot of these events had like above 40 players. So pretty good. We're seeing some consistent numbers across the board for PQs, but here we got GAR ECL. So we know like Vader ECL, that's one of the focal points of that deck. And I know there's been some slight discussion of like, is that combo worth it? Is it doing well? Well, GAR ECL took an event, so I'd say it's worthy of looking at. Then we got the Han Blue, like another KAZ Red. This time it's a thermal oscillator in 3rd place. So it's like KAZ is going to see a little ramp, and for the haters, don't say I didn't tell you so, because I've been on the KAZ wave for a little while now, even during the Django meta. KAZ Tarkentown taking 4th here. Josh Everly, I've heard of that name before. And then we got a Quinlan, SABINE ECL, another KAZ Red, this time 30 HP. And then we've got a Han Green, so, some of the curveball decks here is going to be those 2 KAZ decks. I don't think I'd put Gar Saxon ECL up in that category quite yet. I think that deck should have respect. But yeah, interesting on the KAZ there. Here we got a Ankeny, Iowa. It's like 63 players. Quinlan takes it. Mickey from the Boston Network on Quinlan takes it with a KAZ Security Complex in 2nd. So we see KAZ Blue sneaking in here, getting 2nd place at a PQ. Again, that's why I brought the deck. I thought we could really get around we really do well into the Kylo Tarkentown. I just think we go too wide and too fast for that deck to be able to beat KAZ consistently. I'm sure they can sneak some wins if they have some shenanigans where they're popping shields and able to get the Tarkentown off. But awesome job by the KAZ Blue player, taking 2nd. We got that Poe ECL. I've been seeing some Poe Data Vault in the mix. There was the Poe Data Vault got 2nd place, I believe, at the PQ against Andrew Cox in Orlando. So shout out to the Poe players that are just wanting to go space and take a different route. Pete Red, another GAR ECL, so another GAR ECL in the top 8, and then we do have, like I said, another Poe ECL. So Poe's popping up a lot. Week 2 we see Pete Red's popping in too. People just assuming I'm gonna ramp and play big ships, and you can either answer it or lose. And of course, you got your Quinlans and some of your Kylo stuff, like the Data Vault, and also Kylo Tarkentown showing up at top 8s. Next event, we got Palo Alto, California. 51 players here. We had a Han Blue, no surprise there, taking 1st with Palp Yellow in the 2nd place. I like Palp right now because of the mid-range game. Palp loves the mid-range game. Where things are starting to pop off around the 7-8 resource turn, where he's able to steal your units and use things like Change of Heart, killing your own unit after he takes it to swing with it, and see him being really good in the meta right now. 2 Iden Data Vaults in the top 4. So control still being a thing, but Iden seeming to be the better option, maybe because She deploys with a shield. I believe she does, right? Yeah. I think Aiden has a shield when she comes out. And she's just subtle healing all game. And when you have 33 health, you're healing pretty much once or twice a turn. Not including vigilance, not including, you know, anything like a top target. And they're healing a lot. So pushing that health base of 33, possibly past like 53, 50 after the game's done. You know, you've had to do about 40 to 50 damage to them to actually kill them. Then we have Kyle Datavault, Sabine Yellow, Tower number 9, who was on Sabine Yellow. He's been a Sabine loyalist for a while. Pretty sure specifically in the yellow, but I know he's teetered with green as well. Then Boba Datavault and another Han Blue. So interesting turnout there for the California event. Here we go. KAZ Red, KAZ Tarkentown taking down a PQ. This one is in Phoenix, Arizona with 73 players. And he ended up playing a Han Green in the finals there, which for KAZ is a pretty easy matchup. I wonder how that went. I mean, if they're not in blue, they're not healing. That takes away half of our stress. We just ignore all their units and literally burst so much damage, they're not able to heal. And so that matchup, I would assume, went pretty good. They get General's Blade going, that can get out of hand, but for the most part, KAZ just burns through that deck. Got two Boba Datavaults, obviously another Han Blue, 2 Boba Datavaults, a Kylo 2 Yellow, so super fast deck. I wonder if that was the space version or just the regular low to the ground version. And then Piet Red, another Piet Red, just chilling in the top 8 along with GAR ECL. So GAR ECL, I think we're going to start seeing, guys. So keep an eye on that one. Portland, Oregon, we had Boba Datavault take it. So, like I said, he's back. It's a deck you got to think about when you're boarding. I mean, not a whole lot we could do there. I mean, maybe you've got Confiscate. Confiscate is still a really good card. I would keep that in your decks or sideboard. And if you're able to run Bamboozle, Bamboozle's probably a main board at this point with all the lightsabers and shields and annoying things to deal with. You want to be able to get rid of those upgrades for sure. 2 Han Blues. So Han Blues just going to remain that consistent deck probably in this meta, as long as Force throws around. GAR ECL, again, another top 8. So, as well as Aiden, Datavault. So, control. Now we're starting to see somewhat of a trend. So, Quinlan Tarkentown, and then Kylo 2 Tarkentown. Getting 8th right there at the Portland DQ. This one had 122 players, actually. So, this one was quite big. And then Boba takes it, man. I like to see it. This one's hot. So Madison, what's that? Wyoming? Is it Wyoming? I think so. Yeah, Wyoming. Sabine Tarkentown takes it. Oh my god. I mean, I know that deck likes to drop a bunch of little 1s and 2s. It just goes super wide and super fast on the ground. Its worst enemy is probably just Chariot. But other than that, that deck fries. I actually played against one in the last PQ we had at Collective, and I was on Ray Datavault. I took it, but it was very close. Then we got a Towson Red. Obviously, Towson's still really good. Just one world, so that deck's going to be probably hot for this whole meta. Sabine ECL. Sabine's still creeping into these top 8s and doing really well. That's probably not going to change. Another Aiden Datavault, the infamous Han 4 Tarkentown deck. Probably assuming it's not much different from the top 8 worlds list. Then we have Cad Bane Tarkentown. Still a good deck. Hard to pilot in this meta, but for those who are still playing Cad Tarkentown, still seeing good results if you've got the tenure with the deck. We've got Pout Blue. I don't think it's Colossus. Just regular 30 HP. Rando Mando, I know he's a huge Pout player. And here he is getting a top 8 at a PQ over at Misty Mountain Games in Madison. Then we have a Poe ECL sneaking here at the top 8 as well. Nice, guys. The meta is pretty wide so far. There are some like standard lists that keep popping up, but for the most part, I like where it's at. Of course, this is the Altamont. What did I say? Maitland. The event was in Altamont Springs for RPQ here in Altamont. Reflex ticket, again, was on the Kyle Tarkentown. And they got Riley Taves, who's on that Poe Data Vault list. I'm pretty sure that is the person behind that list. And then Crispy got third with the Kyle Tarkentown. And then we have Richard Taves, I'm assuming brother of Riley Taves, on the Sabine ECL. So, interesting. Then we had Maddie, who I was talking about. I thought he got fourth. He ended up getting fifth with Quinlan Tarkentown. We had a Matt S, who was on Anakin Force. And then Mike, who ended up actually beating me in one of the rounds on the Boba Data Vault list, with our boy George the Hulk getting eighth. So good turnout, local boys. I mean, sadly, no two debasers up in the top 8 here, but still happy for my local Boston Network homies who were able to place top 8 here. All right, what do we got next? So Mint Hill, North Carolina. Sabine taking an event. So, like I said, we're going to still see her. Iden Data Vault in second, I think. In that finals, Iden versus Sabine can go probably favored into Sabine, just because she can do so much damage before the setup really happens with Iden. Unless Sabine gets, hit by a bad barrage or something like that. And we had a Sabine Yellow, another Sabine Yellow in top 8, this time getting third place, with Quinlan getting fourth, another Quinlan getting fifth, another KAZ, but KAZ Data Vault getting 6. I was on a KAZ Data Vault list last set, late last set, and I loved it. I'm interested to see what that looks like. And then we've got a Luke JTL Data Vault getting 7th, with Quinlan getting 8th here. A lot of Quinlan showing in this top 8. Interesting. Deck is still really good. Good into most of the meta, so Quinlan's not a bad pick. Obviously, you've seen Woo, doing really well with Worlds with it. Here's another event. So Rochester, New York, 72 players, and we've got Towson Green mirror match in the finals there, with obviously Towson Green taking it. And then Towson Red getting third, so Red getting pushed out of the finals here. Interesting, with Cal Kestis Blue getting 4th place. That's got to be a spicy list. And we've got Obi Yellow. You would have swore this was like in Europe or something. What's New York up to? We've got Obi-Wan Force Yellow, 5th place there. GI Red, Legends of the Force, in 6th place. Everybody thought this leader was unplayable. Then we have Kit Fisto Blue. This event was insane. The top 8 of this event is insane. And it's like leaders that people were voting on that B. I would even put Cal in the C tier kind of range. And here we are, like, seeing them in the top 8. That's very spicy. No list here. But man, if you check out the Rochester, New York Melee link, you'll probably see some lists there, hopefully. If not, they're obviously trying to keep it a secret. So, really spicy stuff at that top 8 there in New York. Then we have, I don't want to say this, but Dansk over in Poland. So, overseas, UK, you get an Iden Data Vault in 1st, Mother Towers in 2nd, Vader Yellow 3rd, Sabine ECL in 4th. Benton, he was on Sabine. That is our world champ recently, and made a complete switch over to Sabine, which I think is interesting. Maybe he figured after he won, a lot of people are going to be trying his Towson Red list, and maybe he says this deck's actually not that good into Sabine, and so he kind of like just went against his own. So he kind of like went against his own deck, knowing that Sabine's gonna be pretty good into it, but obviously not, because that Towson ended up getting 2nd. And that's his teammate Sip and good friend, from what I believe. They do that YouTube together. I can't remember the Swoop Racers. So interesting top 8. We got Han, Han JTL Tarkentown up there, as well as Anakin Blue, Kira Datavault, and Kylo Tarkentown. So sick top 8. We got Girona, Spain. KAZ Tarkentown taking down that event with Kylo Datavault in second. So maybe able to control the board enough there before Kylo shenanigans happen. With that Cad Bane, so pushing damage, get to that 33 before they can deploy. Then we have another KAZ Tarkentown in third with Quinlan Tarkentown in fourth, Quinlan in fifth, Han Blue in sixth, another Cad Bane Tarkentown in seventh with a GAR ECL in eighth. So pretty meta-ish top 8 if you ask me. Southampton, UK, we have a Boba Datavault in first. Vader Blue, JTL Vader in second, with both Sabine ECL in third and fourth. We have a KAZ Tarkentown in fifth. Chancellor Palp Blue in sixth, with GAR ECL seventh, Quinlan Tarkentown in eighth. This event had 60 players, so pretty standard outside of the spicy Vader Blue. That deck had a small surgence in the last meta. I wonder if it'll come back. Maybe yellow is too weak as far as the health of the units, and maybe there's a more control-y version of Vader that might be a little bit better. Although Vader yellow is still very good. I'm not saying it's not. I just think it's a little hard tech for or easily tech for with the meta, with like Towson being popular, and maybe blue has a good approach as well. Another UK, this one was in Australia, Brisbane. Quinlan Tarkentown taking that one with a Thrawn JTL Yellow getting second place. Interested to see that list. Are they doing the... let me just click this because I'm a fanboy of this deck. Are they doing the... Yep, Legacy run. Okay, interesting. Enticing rewards in there with sneak attacks as well. Oh man, this is a spicy list. I gotta take a look at that. That'd be fun to run. Kit Fisto Green making a top 8 appearance, third place here with Kylo to Tarkentown in fourth. JTL Vader Yellow in fifth. There we go. We were just talking about how it's still a good deck. And then we also have Palp Yellow up there at sixth with KAZ Tarkentown in seventh. And a Rex Droid Manufactory. I'm assuming it's the... what's that card called? I forgot the name of it. Unity of Purpose. Yep, flooding and just swinging for hella damage in one turn. So that interesting archetype to be running. Gets a top 8 at a PQ, which is pretty crazy. That was 40 players, so not too many. Then we have Lestrange Market. Interesting place of France, 64 players. Chance Palpatine Blue takes it with Anakin 3 Blue Force in second. JTL Luke Datavault getting third place there, with Towson getting fourth. Towson Red getting fourth here. Han Blue getting fifth, with JTL Vader Yellow again, sixth place there. Still doing really well. Yoda Red, which I've seen this Yoda Red pop up a bit. I'm pretty sure there was a Yoda Red that won one of the Gen Con events that we talked about in the last meta review video. If you haven't checked it out, go check out week 1's meta recap. And yeah, Quinlan taking 8th here. And lastly, we had another US tournament, Manchester, is that New Hampshire. Vader Yellow winning an event. So deck is still good. Probably just needs to be teched around some of these new Force decks a little bit. But obviously somebody's seeing success. This Matthew Yakobina. Emperor Palp Colossus getting second. I can see that being a rough match for Palpatine, with Vader just being able to go super fast. Then we had a Kylo to Tarkentown again popping up, with Chrono from KTOD getting fourth with Han Blue. And we had Quinlan 5th, Sabine ECL 6th, on to Blue 7th, with another Quinlan getting 8th. So pretty meta-y top 8 outside of the Palp and Kylo, but I do feel like they're pretty damn good decks and should probably be they're probably on that, I wouldn't call them rogue list, but definitely interesting. These events keep popping up with, for the most part, consistent metas with a splash of like 2 or 3 wow decks, you know, decks that make you say, I would have never guessed. So pretty cool. I like what we're seeing. Sorry we couldn't go into the list in detail, but guys, if you want to check out the list, honestly, go to SWU Competitive Hub. Most of these events have the top 8 lists. You just follow through the links and you can find what you're looking for. If I went through the list, this video would have been like 2 hours long. But some of the spicy lists, we see KAZ popping up. I mean, I just gotta keep saying it. I told you so, guys. I've been telling you, man, since Django. He's a great leader. It's just, it wasn't his time with Django. That was a bad meta for KAZ. I'm actually at Beato. I was the only one in the field playing KAZ that whole weekend. Now we see some taking events. You're gonna see these hyper aggro decks at your local meta. And you're probably gonna wonder, how do I beat this? Kill their ships. I'm not gonna give all the tech. But yeah, we're gonna see these hyper space aggro decks. We're even seeing, you know, the Sabine Tarkin Town type of decks, this Lando Tarkin Town where we're going wide with like these puny units and buffing and just getting damage in quick. So it's an interesting route to take. Also seeing you know, that little resurgence with Control, Iden, Palp. So it's really hard to be like, well, I should play this deck because this is really popular. Your baseline should be, can it be Hantu Blue? You know, what are my chances into Kyle Tarkin Town? How do I beat that deck? You know, and some of these other, you know, Vader Yellow. So some of these other decks that are, the writing's on the wall. We just got to figure out what deck is at least doable against XYZ. What decks are your problem? Take a look at these tournament results. Ask yourself, what of these lists do I struggle against? And try to find something that you like to play that'll pocket really well into those decks, because right now the meta is so wide, we really can't tech against one certain deck or all decks. You can tech against one certain deck, but then it leaves you open to everything else. So right now, for me, it's what am I comfortable with? What can in fact beat all these decks? And run with it. Enjoy it. Have fun playing what you want to play. That's the meta we're sort of in right now. Make the rogue deck you think that will blow decks out of the water. Bring it to a locals. Bring it to a showdown. PQ. Run it. Let me know what you guys think. What are you running that's really unique that can still combat the meta? Let me know in the comments. Hop in our Discord. A shout out to all the new Discord homies that hopped in recently. Shout to us in the Discord to let us know what you're playing. We have our free decklist forum that's in there called The Forge. Please use it. Let us know what you are running right now. Let's get to talking about some more decks. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later. And thanks for watching the video. Peace.